government to spend 3 trillion naira on new minimum wage, pensions, gratuities. On the 14th, United States President vows to run amid step-down calls by Democrats. And in sports, Nigeria's D Tigress loses to Germany in 2024 Olympics warm-up. And now the details. I am Mike James. The Lagos Building Control Agency, LASPCA, has granted a 4-week extension for the collection and submission of an expression of interest form for interested consultants in the built environment registered with relevant professional bodies in Nigeria to indicate interest in the Certified Accreditors Program, CAP. The General Manager of the Building Control Agency, Bolaoki, stated this in his office while reviewing the level of responses by interested applicants in the new scheme. Oki reiterated that the CAP program is a public-private synergy aimed at leveraging the peculiar expertise and experience of private sector professionals to further accelerate LASPCA's effectiveness towards optimum service delivery. He noted that the extension is aimed at giving more professionals in the built environment the opportunity to participate in this significant initiative. Lagos State Electricity Board, LSEB, has held a stakeholders engagement with community leaders in the Ekpe division. General Manager of the board, KAT Balogun, said the meeting aimed to inform and seek the support of the communities in their upcoming energy audit exercise, which will commence today, Saturday, July 20, in Ekpe. Balogun, who was represented by the head of the energy audit team, Adenike Adeniji, noted that the essence of the audit is to capture the energy needs of underserved communities across the state, noting that the exercise will also serve as a guide in Lagos State electricity law. According to him, this initiative demonstrates the Lagos State government's dedication to implementing the provisions of the Lagos State electricity law, fostering a collaborative approach to energy management and driving progress towards a more sustainable and equitable energy future. Community leaders from 24 communities, led by the Vice Chairman of Ekpe Local Government, Sikiru Olumoshi, thanked the LSEB team and pledged their full support on the exercise. In swift response to the Chief of Defense Staff's directive to curb illegal oil refining in the Niger Delta, the Joint Task Force South Operation Delta Safe, led by Rear Admiral John Okeke, has commenced a tour of identified flashpoints. Okeke and his team raided communities in Umorie, Abia, and Rivers State, uncovering large-scale illegal refining activities following intelligence reports. And while speaking to newsmen, he explained that the areas mapped out for visitation and sensitization are hubs for illegal refining because most of the hubs used for illegal refining activities have proximity to pipeline crossings and flow stations. The JTF commander also expressed confidence that the military would meet the 2-week deadline given by the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa. President Bola Tinubu is set to depart Abuja for Accra, Ghana, to participate in the 6th Media Coordination Meeting of the African Union, AU, the Regional Economic Communities, RECs, the Regional Mechanisms, RMs, and the African Union member states. In his capacity as the chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, President Tinubu will address the meeting on the status of regional integration across various areas in Africa. He will also be highlighting the achievements and challenges encountered in West Africa since the last meeting in Nairobi, Kenya, in July 2023. In a statement issued by the presidential spokesman, Ajuri Ngelale, the meeting will be convened under the AU theme of the year 2024, Educate and Skill Africa for the 21st Century, focusing on peace, regional security, governance, economic integration, humanitarian and social development, energy, mines, and agriculture. President Tinubu, who will be accompanied by senior government officials, will return to the country at the conclusion of the meeting. To the rest of the stories, the federal government is set to spend 3 trillion naira on the new minimum wage and the payment of pensions and gratuities. Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, stated this during the meeting with the Senate Committee on Appropriations, chaired by Olamileko Adeola. Bagudu, who presented the general principles of the newly amended 2024 budget to the committee at the meeting, noted that the new budget additions would not be funded by loans but by an already reserved profit. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has issued revised guidelines on the management of dormant accounts, unclaimed balances, and other financial assets in Nigeria's banks and financial institutions. These new rules aim to identify dormant accounts and reunite them with their owners, establish standardized procedures for account management, and create a framework for reclaiming warehoused funds. Accounts deemed dormant after 10 years will be eligible for inclusion under the guidelines, and these include various deposit types, prepaid cards, gab-interned accounts, unclaimed salaries, proceeds from stale drafts, judgment debts, and other financial assets as designated by the CBN. The CBN noted that accounts subject to litigation, under investigation, or encumbered by collateral are exempted. Today is World Chess Day. On December 12, 2019, the General Assembly proclaimed July 12 as World Chess Day to mark the date of the establishment of the International Chess Federation, FIDE, in Paris in 1924. Under the initiative of FIDE, July 20 has been observed as International Chess Day by chess players around the world since 1966. The designation of World Chess Day of the UN will not only recognize the important role of the FID in supporting international cooperation for chess activity and aiming to improve friendly harmony among all people of the world, but also to provide an important platform to foster dialogue and culture of peace. And in some foreign news, United States President Joe Biden is looking forward to returning to the campaign trail next week, fortifying his commitment to stick in the race as more Democrats called for him to step aside as the party nominee. He said the stakes are high and the choice is clear. His statement appeared to be in response to the conflicting reports that Biden's inner circle is discussing the beleaguered president's future and whether he will remain in the race. Over the last several weeks, Biden has been caught in a whirlwind of political pressure to step down. Calls from leaders within his own party to withdraw from the race, a loss of big-ticket donors, and the added pressure that his decision could cost Democrats control of Congress. And over to sports news, Germany has beaten Nigeria's D Tigers in a warm-up game ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympics. The African champions lost to Germany in the preparation game played at the Uber Arena in Berlin on Friday, as the game finished 77-63 in favor of the Germans. The Tigers, who have won a record 4 consecutive women's Afro basket titles, are in a tough group for the Olympics, which places the team up against Canada, Australia, and France in Group B of the women's basketball event. And that was our news at 12, but just before we go, slow down at road junctions, intersections, and pedestrian crossings. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website, www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration renovated 197 public schools across the state? Well, you can get more details. It's on the Lagos State Government website. And to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State Building Control Agency, LASPCA, has granted a 4-week extension for the collection and submission of an expression of interest form for interested consultants in the built environment registered with relevant professional bodies in Nigeria to indicate interest in the Certified Accreditors Program, CAP. The federal government is set to spend 3 trillion naira on the new minimum wage and the payment of pensions and gratuities. We also told you that the United States President Joe Biden is looking forward to returning to the campaign trail next week, fortifying his commitment to stick in the race as more Democrats called for him to step aside as the party nominee. In sports, Nigeria's Deep Tigress has been beaten by Germany in a warm-up game ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympics. And for contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast, compiled by Adiwale Olukwaruku. Thank you for listening. My name is Mike James. Good morning.